On June 14, 2025, the Oklahoma City Thunder stormed into Gainbridge Fieldhouse and delivered a resilient performance, securing a 111-104 victory over the Indiana Pacers in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. With the series now knotted at 2-2, the Thunder reclaimed momentum after a tough Game 3 loss, demonstrating their capacity to adjust under pressure. The contest became a battle of endurance, strategy, and execution, culminating in a 12-1 closing burst, fueled by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's 35-point masterpiece, 15 of them in the final 5 minutes. That flipped the evening on its head and reset the pursuit of a Larry O'Brien trophy. Welcome to Gintotski Sports, your spot for all things sports. From legendary moments and big-time plays to inspiring stories and deep dives, we bring you the content that keeps the game alive. If you love sports as much as we do, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. The opening stanza unspoled at breakneck pace. Indiana's 35-34 edge after 12 minutes masked warning signs. The Thunder were already 9 for 9 at the foul line, and Jalen Williams' downhill aggression was infiltrating every possession. While Tyrese Halliburton threaded pocket passes and buried a deep triple, Oklahoma City's response, headlined by Williams' 6 free throws and Gilgeous-Alexander's slithering drives, kept the margin razor thin. The second quarter, at first glance, felt like Indiana's statement period. A 10-2 spurt ignited by Pascal Siakam's baseline spin and Obi Toppin's hammer dunk nudged the margin to 8. Yet the Pacers' frame, a 25-23 win that pushed them to a 60-57 halftime lead, never felt entirely secure. Siakam bullied his way to 14 first-half points, but Oklahoma City quietly simplified matters, dumping the ball to Chet Holmgren at the high post and letting Alex Caruso back cut for easy layups, ensuring the gap stayed within a single possession run. The third quarter swung like a pendulum. Indiana still found answers. Miles Turner's pick and pop, Halliburton's scoop layup at 5:03. But Mark Daigneault's decision to downshift into switch-everything coverage began shrinking driving lanes. The Pacers edged the period 27-24, building an 87-81 cushion entering the fourth. Beneath that modest lead, the Thunder's vitality was trending up. Holmgren already owned a 14-point, 15-rebound double-double, and Caruso had logged 5 steals while shooting a blistering 7 of 9 en route to 20 points. The final period struck like a thunderclap. Caruso stripped Benedict Mathurin at midcourt, sprinted for an and one, and the Thunder bench erupted. Minutes later, Gilgeous-Alexander danced off a reject screen, stepped back over Aaron Nesmith for 3, and Indiana's 7-point cushion dissolved into a 99-99 deadlock with 3 minutes left. Over the next 180 seconds, the Pacers shot 1 for 8 with 3 empty trips, while Oklahoma City ripped off the decisive 12-1 run. Williams knifed for a scoop lay-in, Holmgren erased a Siakam drive, and SGA's high-arching fade at 2:23 effectively sealed matters. Indiana, so often clutch this postseason, mustered only 1 field goal in the final 4:38, while Oklahoma City iced 8 straight free throws to close out the 111-104 triumph. The Indiana Pacers stepped into Game 4 with a blend of confidence and momentum. Their greatest strength through the first 3 quarters remained their offensive balance, as 5 players scored in double figures. Halliburton's command of pace and poise under pressure was evident yet again, while Siakam's physical interior scoring, particularly in the first half, gave Indiana early control. Bench contributions, especially from Obi Toppin, added verticality and transition punch. However, Game 4 also exposed a familiar and dangerous weakness. Their fourth quarter offense once again faltered under aggressive defensive pressure. The ball stagnated, movement off the ball decreased, and the live ball turnovers, 8 of them in the final frame, gave Oklahoma City exactly what they wanted: a runway to push pace, score in transition, and break Indiana's half-court structure. The team's signature late-game confidence gave way to hesitancy, and their clutch identity bolstered by a 10-0 record following losses earlier this postseason, took a serious hit. What lies ahead is both opportunity and threat. Indiana can reclaim its spacing and motion by integrating dynamic off-ball screen actions and more creative short-roll decisions through Turner. But if they continue to misread pressure schemes and allow the Thunder to shrink the floor, their margin for error will vanish. Indiana's coaching staff, led by Rick Carlisle, will enter Game 5 determined to address the late-game collapse that cost them Game 4. Central to their strategy will be recalibrating how their offense initiates sets under pressure. They are likely to reintroduce layered Spain pick-and-rolls, blending Halliburton's vision with Turner's stretch gravity and Matherin's slashing to break down switch-heavy looks. Expect greater emphasis on early back screens and exit actions for Nesmith to stretch Oklahoma City's help side, creating deeper rotation windows and restoring the cutting lanes that disappeared late in Game 4. Defensively, Carlisle's staff will likely pivot into matchup-specific containment schemes. One option is reviving a hybrid zone, perhaps a box-and-one shadowing Gilgeous-Alexander with Nesmith while zoning behind him to wall off Holmgren and Williams. Another emphasis will be shifting help coverage more aggressively in non-SGA lineups, daring Caruso and Dort to create against length. Key to this will be executing on weak side rotations without sacrificing closeout discipline, something Indiana failed to do in their final 6 possessions of Game 4. For Oklahoma City, the blueprint in Game 4 was crystal clear. Their strength lies in their collective defensive versatility, elite guard play, and roster balance. Gilgeous-Alexander delivered when it mattered most, with 15 of his 35 points in the final 5 minutes, many under immense pressure and over top defensive contests. Jalen Williams was assertive throughout, providing 27 efficient points while embracing secondary playmaking responsibilities. Holmgren's interior command and rim presence gave the Thunder protection that allowed their guards to pressure more aggressively on the perimeter. And Caruso's night, 20 points on 7 of 9 shooting and 5 steals, was arguably his finest in an NBA uniform, cementing him as the X factor in a finals matchup full of stars. Yet not all is polished. The Thunder allowed Indiana to dictate terms in the first half, surrendering open driving lanes and struggling to contain early pick-and-roll actions. Their traditional big lineup, particularly when Holmgren and Hartenstein shared the floor, showed vulnerability against Indiana's 5-out movement. Their opportunity now lies in pressing their athletic edge earlier, using their most switchable unit for longer stretches and executing with playoff tempo from the jump. The threat remains that if SGA's workload remains too top-heavy, the late-game legs that carried them in game May 4th not hold under repeated strain. Managing energy systems and diversifying scoring options will be vital if the Thunder intend to sustain championship-level execution. Oklahoma City, meanwhile, walks into their own war room with validation in hand. Mark Daigneault and his staff will aim to establish the energy and defensive identity from their closing unit earlier in Game 5. This means extending minutes for the Caruso, Williams, Dort, Holmgren SGA combination that locked down Indiana's spacing and flipped the final quarter. Expect to see early zone press concepts, perhaps a 2-2-1 full-court look, morph into half-court switching to gum up Indiana's rhythm without surrendering the corners. Offensively, the Thunder will recalibrate to maximize the movement generated by Williams. Ghost screens, short lifts, and wing curls will be designed to cause confusion in Indiana's point-of-attack coverage and open elbow space for Gilgeous-Alexander to operate cleanly. Caruso, no longer just an off-ball cog, will be granted green light freedom when Indiana collapses, as his 77% Game 4 efficiency justifies higher usage as both scorer and connected passer. Monitoring SGA's stamina will remain central, resting him in 2-minute bursts at the top of quarters to preserve his burst for crunch time will be part of Oklahoma City's endurance calculus. Game 4 underscored how razor-thin the margins are in this finals. Defensive rotations measured in inches and decisions made under neon pressure. Oklahoma City's fourth quarter vice and Gilgeous-Alexander's closing pyrotechnics restored parity, while Indiana's early elegance dissolved amid hurried possessions. As the stage shifts west for a pivotal Game 5, the series becomes a best-of-3 where each schematic tweak, Carlisle's late-game counters or Daigneault's stamina-driven rotations, could tilt the destiny of June. Whoever perfects 48 minutes of execution, not just 36, is poised to seize the final chapter of this championship saga. Thanks for watching Gintotski Sports. If that video hit home or gave you something to think about, drop a like and let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that bring the heart of sports to life. Until next time, stay inspired and keep chasing greatness.